how does it make you feel? And what's your perception of what's being said?
Yeah. So, feeling wise, I feel empowered because we've been on a journey for a while, and I really want to listen and understand. For me, it's been empowering because you come with a perspective that challenges narratives that I've had. So for me, I think there's been certain times I've been challenged, but I haven't really felt like negative towards it because I know the place. So for me, I think I've always started with you in terms of intention. I've always understood your intention, so I don't question what you say necessarily because I know the intention. If people, and I think we spoke about this before, but if you knew what people don't say, then what they do say, you can align it, if that makes sense. So because I know your intention is for the love of your people, because we have lack of it, it's empowering because it makes me see someone who's unapologetically going to stand for their people and speak truth to power. And I think that is what a lot of people in society want to be doing, but they have the fear of the
getting wily.
Getting wily. Good way to put it. Just getting closed down. So yeah, I haven't really, and I've had it a few times where people are like, how are you on a show when someone speaks like that and you know your mum's white? And my mum knows. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, my family on my white side was racist. Like, not saying all of them, but when I went to my granddad's funeral, I felt that, and I was like, Then it made sense. My mum didn't need to tell me, but I knew why my mum was black women, black men, because she didn't like the fact that her family were racist, kind of thing. So, yeah, for me, I understand the context. Like, because I guess for me, it's not about me.
100%.
So, if I'm thinking about the community and the melanated community, then how could I be feeling away? I could only feel uncomfortable if I know I'm part of that problem, if that makes sense. I can only feel empowered if I know what we're talking about is leading people out of the trap. We're trapped ultimately anyway, but the mindset trap. So, you know, as Mr. Positive, as they call me, or whatever it is, of course, if I'm seeing beyond the physical and spiritually connected and all of that, I know what this is. It's like, how could I be mad at you for saying what you're saying? Because you're not really, some of what you're saying is not new. We've heard it before. It's just the way you're saying it's direct and it's without fear because of the amount of things that people are like, oh, I really want to say that, but I don't know if this is the space. You're just
Which is what we've heard.
Yeah, it's like, be who you are behind the camera and in front of it, and that's who you're being. And I think that's, a lot of people will probably say behind camera, like, I rate what you're doing, because otherwise if you don't do it, I just know 10 years down the line, people begin to say, we're now catching on to what these lot are saying. So yeah, for me, and even if I was in that space of like uncomfortability, I have to look within. Why am I feeling uncomfortable?
What makes you do that? Because we know most people don't do that.
Knowing I don't know. That's the thing, is because we are in a place of knowing. Yeah. Right? Everyone wants to know, everyone thinks they know. If your ego, then your negative ego, not to say there is a positive ego, but if your negative ego takes over and it's like, well, now I know. So I know now, I'm gonna now create a belief on top of my know, which is, the belief is that I don't know, and the belief is actually a doubt.
Yeah.
So I'm doubting it, but I'm going to create a belief because I don't know. But I'm just going to create, because I'm doubting it, let me just create a belief, because when you try and question a belief, you can't have a logical conversation.
Yeah.
You can just emotionally reinforce it. So for me, knowing that I don't know and knowing that there's perspectives that can always help me learn, I'm open to be challenged. And actually, when you don't know, you humble yourself and you hear. And when you hear, you learn.
You know what's interesting, yeah? What I've learned is that a lot of people, so, you know, people who are mixed race, and there are some melanated people, right, that are like absolutely compromised. They're not honest with themselves. And instead of being honest with themselves, they'd rather project. Do you feel like there's hope for them?
For mixed race people?
For people who don't have what you have? Because this is the thing, accountability is key, and looking within yourself is key, and knowing that you don't know it all is key, and accepting that, do you know what? I actually don't know that much.
Yeah.
Because you see, for me, I can't not do the work on myself. I've never not, like, that's always the first thing that I'm gonna do.
I think there is hope. I'm only speaking on personal perspective,
Yeah.
probably. Because I feel like for me, I understand my privilege. So then I'm able to understand, like, okay, now's my time to shut my mouth. But also now's my time to open that door, which wouldn't normally be open, so that we can get in, kind of thing. Or I'm able to make people uncomfortable in settings which they might not let the fellow melanated person in. On the other hand, there's no hope. So it's like a paradox.
Yeah.
On the other hand, I feel there's no hope for like a lot of people because of this entrapment that, because as soon as you get into the race conversation and you get into a mixed race family, black and white, I don't know if my parents have consciously had a conversation about being black and being white. But that's fucked me up. Because I didn't know any of it. I learned about British history. I didn't know nothing about Mongolian history. And so that kind of feeling of not being aligned to self and then aligning more to the white side. And then realizing, oh shit, the white side in terms of history is fucked. And then we're like back to the black family, but then the black family is traumatized.
Completely, So it's like, oh shit, this is both hell.
And I'm saying the black family because now I want to learn the melanated family beyond the black and white.
You've done the work.
And then realizing that if the heat gets too hot in the kitchen, the white individual can use their privilege in scenarios
in a way that a black person
couldn't. And that's the problem. That's the real issue. And I've seen it, men and women. The white privilege it's like melanated people get defined as black and dark, and no matter what, they have to prove themselves. So if I'm someone who's sitting here in my eyes growing up on the fence, and I'm looking at this, and I have to now remove my colour, I have to now look at right and wrong, I can't be sitting on that fence because I've seen what that's doing to these people.